It's been such a long day. I'm kind of falling in love with my art class. My humanities class is also turning into a histories class, which is also totally studying art composition. I'm going through multiple other experiences that I find it difficult to even talk about. Number one, I was forced to get a new telephone today, completely new, and start afresh, so I lost all numbers, all contacts. Which is kind of a nice thing. All apps, all passwords, all interfaces, just everything I have to remember, everything that was ever there, everything I was ever a part of, things that I would like to continue and bring with me in the future. Now there's so many circumstances I wish to cover, and it's so difficult to access this divine realm. Especially when it's neglected, misunderstood, and sacred. It can be excessively difficult to keep it sacred as well. Perhaps that's why it's often kept in silence. I'd like to discuss his story as well. Something I'm kind of madly in love with right now is the history of women, you could say. And yes, perhaps it's complete female domination and girl supremacy or whatever. It's just, I enjoy looking at, you could say, the suffering of mankind in the story that's been passed down, the story we've been taught to believe, the things that are kind of ingrained into us, we kind of think are right just because someone told us, when it could have easily been a facade, kind of like what we know about sciences or certain stories or certain contexts of religion, or so many different interfaces run this deep where the story was changed. It's like a big game of telephone where it's hard to know which information is accurate. For example, the history of people saying the cures of eucalyptus or sage and medicinal properties of cannabis, or medicinal purposes of lavender, or opiates even, I imagine, where people are attempting that along with hallucinogens and other things that help people escape the reality, such as getting lost in virtual realities. That includes television, cellular devices. I'd like to almost even include books. Obviously movies, TV shows, any type of television programming. I have so much work to do. I'm so behind. That's kind of been my story, and I've kind of had this kind of pattern where I tend to repeat the behavioral mechanisms over and over again, and I keep wondering, why am I keep falling on my face? Why do I keep choosing these things? Oh, I see. Oh, I choose. When you write things down, it makes a lot more sense. Imagine breaks down to I'm a genie. That's one of my favorite ones. Or how the power of recognize the power in imagination. They try to take away that divinity from you by creating fluoridation inside the waters. Yet you like to discredit any type of information and scientific evidence that have ever been generated just because it doesn't come from a select source. Sometimes you can just feel and know your truth, and then you can also feel and know your ego that is basically rejecting any information that you're being told. You are not your thoughts. That voice in your head that's constantly talking to you, that's not you. You need to love you. You need to love yourself before you die. Do not get involved in the antithesis. The words are very difficult to come by in the channel individually and unconsciously. Therefore, I'm unable to generate the type of content that you wish for at your simple wish for manifestation. There's a line that my father said to me that I imagine his family said to him. I'd love to record exactly where this came from. However it goes, want in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. There's so much more that has to be put in other than you wanting something. You can basically you can communicate with the universe, this nearly intergalactic deep black hole of emotion where you're constantly yearning for this one thing. Yet when you're given the opportunity and you reject that, or you sabotage, or you walk away, or you make a choice not to make a choice and you choose something else and choose not now, it's all the same thing. You're ignoring your possibilities. A lot of times we aren't mindful of our bodies. We're aching, we're feeling things, our body wants to move certain directions, and still we suppress that, the thought and worries of what someone else might think of us, or what the meaning is on such deeper level. And some people don't even bother to look in the deeper like, what's the memo, what's the little message of every little intricate design. There's hidden symbolisms everywhere if you could stop and look. The words are the same thing. They all break down to different things that you fail to recognize what they mean. Linguistics, history, his story. Time repeats, and sacred knowledge gets swept under the rug for those who can clearly recognize the deep meanings. I cannot stress enough the burning desire to return home, which reminds me of some other things that I'm learning in my class that I actually would love to tweet about. Twitter is my new thing. It's kind of been my thing for a long time, actually, my little secret getaway. My one place that documents every little tiny little thing. There's so much going on. There's so much I'm not saying, so much I'm not creating. How about like, I love, I don't love, 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 I love. There's still blockages. I could keep going forever, and I'm sure a lot of you are on the same level, if not lower. Perhaps some of you are even on a higher astral level plane. Is it your ego, or is it your eyes that recognize, your third eye that recognizes sounds, the healing frequency of sound, the things that resonate and pulsate. Such fragments of orientation. I'm one of those who can read imagery. I also do this thing. It is called remote viewing. It's kind of like the same thing that happens when I'm channeling, I just realized. I like to chew. I like teeth. Brush your teeth. Floss. Get the grime out of the crevices. They're disgusting. Yuck. Take care of yourself or suffer. The horrific jester of my own creation. All of my power lies within. Literally, it lies to me and holds me back on the daily. The struggle is real. One can only feel for so long. Enjoy the experience that is all-knowing in all consciousness you choose to be aware of. It is all your creation. If you do not love, you cannot create. And if you cannot create, you cannot enjoy. So build your life build it to be everything you desire. It is in your power, just your power. Your power. Do you grind your teeth at night? Do you keep yourself awake? You are the creator. Create something more beautiful, unless you find the beauty in the darkness and in the rage and in the chaos and the sadness and all of the neglect filled with regret. Is that the story you like to live your life? Or are you building something much more worth living for? You have to ask yourselves. Test yourselves. Recognize every time you're being challenged and you are forced to question everything, especially yourself, because you are forever generating your own creation that is the projection of your very self. Work on taking your deep cleansing breaths. Recognize you're here for just a short time. Energize. Empathize. Regenerate. Stop believing your own lies. You make yourself sick. You make yourself suffer. You make it hard to breathe. You forget to catch your breath. You don't seem to take it slow. Don't seem to know what you have or what you've been through, what you have chosen for yourself. You have the power of creation, power of devastation, destruction, creation. Beat to your own drum, not same chord, circle of iron. Eugenics. Transhumanism. Electromagnetic waves. Silent weapons for silent wars. The way of the peaceful warrior. Dedicated to the butterfly. Regenerate. Remember who you are. Remember, you hold the power to make who you are. Make sure that you love yourself so you can and will love another.